Wasn't that amazing? That little montage featuring a whole load of people who look way younger back then than they do now. Just looking at it. If it's the lights, I don't know.
Oh, welcome.
Who are you, Perry?
Welcome, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Perry May. I was Ward when I was here, but I'm now Perry May Britton. And I was here from just, I think it was 2002 to 2010. Is that right?
Mate,
Might have got my numbers wrong. 8 years.
If we haven't had a chance to meet, I'm Tim. If we haven't had a chance to meet, I was the associate vicar here from 2002 to 2005, which means I don't qualify to get a proper badge. I had to write my own. Just a shout out for anyone else who had to write their own name label. There we are, see. You are loved. You are loved. And I'm vicar down at St. Dionis. I've been in the area for 20 years and just seen all that God has done in and through here. A shout out, is it just anyone? Welcome to people online.
Welcome to anyone who's watching online.
Anyone watching? There are hordes. There are thousands of people watching online.
Very warm welcome. Don't know where the cameras are, but really warm welcome.
I think it's that one over there. There's sort of different continents as well as people in Birmingham, apparently, are tuning in to join in the celebration. Hands up, shout out, stand up, do whatever you want to do. If you were here worshipping at St. Paul's before Simon and Anna joined what God is doing.
Woohoo, there's
Come
Barry.
on, come on,
wow.
Let's honour these people.
The hills, wonderful. Oh.
That is wonderful. It's great to see you. Great to see you.
Is there anyone here who came with the original plant in 2000?
Come
Do you
on,
want to stand
on
up?
your feet.
Stand up.
Let's honour these people.
Woohoo! Look at these lovely, faithful people.
There we are. Pioneers, every single one of you. And then you settled and you're still here to pioneer some more. That is wonderful. Fantastic.
So, Tim, what's this evening all about?
This evening, we are celebrating God's goodness and God's faithfulness and God's love to all the people in this place over the last 22 years.
Woohoo!
We're acknowledging the fact that God has been at work before that. We're looking forward in anticipation to the fact that God is still going to be at work in the next 22 years and beyond in Hammersmith.
Yay. And so this evening is going to be a combination of live acts, comedy and music. And I think there may be some people from far off lands who will be making an appearance on our screens.
There could be one or two surprises.
Ooh.
No, better than that. I'll cue you in. Okay, ready? There may be one or two surprises.
Ooh.
Better.
I mean, Tim and I could go on all night, but Tim, I think we should bring on our first act.
Now, you mentioned comedy and you mentioned music. And unfortunately, we got Chris Reed. So that will happen later on. But I think we got Chris Reed who's going to come. And then here he comes.
Come on, Chris.
There we go.
Come on, that's a lot of spirit-filled people. Woo! Come on, amazing. Well, it's an honor to open the performances tonight. And I was trying to think of what to do. I was trying to think, should I do a love song? Should I do a dance song? Should I do there's all number of options. But then I came across a song that I'd written, which is actually on a subject that's quite close to my and Simon's hearts. And it is quite an emotional song. So if you'll indulge me, this is a heavy one. Things are now beyond my control. Maybe they always were. Was I a fool to love too much, not knowing what would occur? It's already in motion. Soon there'll be nothing there. I'm overwhelmed with emotion. I'm losing you, my hair. I think of all the times we spent together. Blonde curls as a toddler on the beach. Now soon I'll throw away shampoo forever and buy about 10% more sun cream. It's already in motion, and that motion is front to back. Soon the only way to tell between head and tail will be the absence of a crack. Just setting the bar high to start the night. Of course, there are options to consider. Rooney got a transplant, so could I. A well-placed wig could deliver in the mirror. Even a comb-over would suffice. It's not like I've got stuff to hide or an overinflated sense of pride. Maybe I just don't know how to fail. I'm going bald for goodness sake, but how can the curtains match the drapes if there are no curtains hanging on the rail? It's already in motion. Soon there'll be nothing there. But like Elisha, Viv Thomas, and Simon Downham over there, I'll be better off without you, my hair. Thank you. It's an emotional start to the night, I know. But Simon, I got so much to thank you for, but one is being a witness to rocking my own personal spiritual thin space one day. It's genetically coded, I know. Oh, God is so good. But I do have so much to thank you for. Honestly, I was here between the ages of about 12 and 18, and then again from my early 20s to the mid-20s, and then again now as a father. And there are so many stories, but one that sprung to mind was in my early 20s when I was in a bit of a mess. Simon, you made time for me on a fortnightly basis. We had coffee in your office, and we went through the 5 things that could feasibly get on top of me at the time, which was grog, alcohol. We had gold. We had glory, taking too much glory as a performer. We had girls. That ended quite well. And we had ganja, of course. So that was there was the 5 Gs that I've not seen published yet in theology manuals, but for me, that is just one example of how amazing you've been to me and to all my family. And so I've actually written a song tonight for yourself, and this one doesn't have any jokes in, but I thought, I'll open with my favorite joke, which goes like this. Knock, knock. 1, 3, 4. I didn't know. No, I did know. I knew immediately what angle to take this song in, and it's simply called The Lighthouse Keeper. And it goes like this. There's a light in a room, in a house by the sea. I have lost count of the times it's warmed me, a welcoming embrace, a calm and spacious place. I have been tired, uninspired and afraid, thrown here and there, navigating the waves. But the darker, the harsher, the fiercer the night, the stronger, the bolder, the deeper the light. And it shines like it's shone for so many years, tells me I belong, and it casts out my fears. And the lighthouse keeper smiles and welcomes me home. It's a baton that's handed across thousands of years, from upper rooms to monasteries to deserts, to here a lightness and a joy no darkness can destroy. And the light's multiplied, it's rejoiced in and shared, as we laugh and we cry, as we dance and break bread. And the lighthouse keeper's there by the door, holding it open, praying for more, so it shines like it's shone for thousands of years. Tells me I belong, and it casts out my fears. And the lighthouse keeper smiles, I know I'm not alone. And the lighthouse keeper smiles and welcomes me home. And it calls me into harbour, it calls me into sea, through all the pain and laughter, it calls me to believe. I know that Christ can master the wind and the swell, and the lighthouse keeper smiles, so I smile as well. And it shines like it's shone for so many years, tells me I belong, and it casts out my fears. And the lighthouse keeper smiles, I know that I belong. And the lighthouse keeper smiles, now I smile alone. Thank you so much.
The phenomenally talented Mr. Chris Reed. Come on.
As most of you know, over the last 22 years, many people have been here, had a kind of encounter with God, and then moved on to other countries. And so I think there's some of them watching, and some of them are going to appear on our screen now.
Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Max, and we've been at St. Paul's. In fact, I remember Simon getting up at HTB and saying that he was coming to St. Paul's, and would anyone who wanted to come with him put up their hand, and the Holy Spirit put my hand up. And so we've been there right since we arrived on the 23rd of January, and because we were on the south coast for the opening, and we're not going to be there for Simon's closing. And it just seems strange that we've all these years, and the thing I remember most about Simon during all those 20 years is Simon's compassion. Just how Simon was always there for folks, and he was there for us, and hopefully we were there for him. So I just found Simon's tenure at St. Paul's one of the reasons we were there for so long. So thanks, Simon, and au revoir. It's not goodbye.
I'd just like to add to that and say thank you, Simon and Anna. We've really enjoyed, and are still enjoying, contact with St. Paul's when we get back to England. And I just thank the Lord for all the times that we've had prayer meetings, functions, church services, that the Holy Spirit's just taken over and people have been touched, and it's just been a wonderful experience. So thank you so much for all you've done at St. Paul's. And we wish you well in the future, and I'm sure the Lord will guide you on a very exciting path that maybe not near St. Paul's, but it will still be exciting. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Trish. I've just recently returned to London from Australia after nearly 3 years. But prior to that, we attended St. Paul's Hammersmith from 2016 to early April 2019. And we just wanted to express our thanks to you, Simon and Anna, for the way you've served St. Paul's community so faithfully and gracefully over the last 20 years. That you and St. Paul's have been such a blessing to me and my family during our time here. And while I worked there, that we have come back from the other side of the world because we want to keep serving this community. And we pray that the next season of your life with Anna and your family will be just as fruitful, if not more so. I personally really appreciated the way you trusted me in my role at St. Paul's, and it empowered me to be more confident in what I was doing. And a lovely memory I have too is pushing a shopping trolley each with you and Misty Quinn, filled with panettone and Prosecco when we were getting supplies for the supper after the Christmas carol service one year. I was impressed that you helped us, and it was lovely to be able to chat about our favourite Christmas traditions together. Enjoy the next adventure, Simon and Anna.
Can anyone else think of other people overseas that have gone from here? Does anyone think? Amy? Naomi? Anyone else? Ash, yes. Maxine, yes. Oh, there's someone at the back. What?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah?
There was Tim Giovanelli.
Who's that?
Who is that?
I can't.
Julia Jamison.
It's an Aussie, I think.
Ben and
I don't
Simca.
recognise him.
He's coming this way.
Andrew and Megan Mason.
Is there any security around?
Yeah.
There was Mike and Nicole Munns. Yeah. There was the Wimpress family.
I'm beginning to recognise him.
I think they were staff members 1 and 2.
Come on!
Dan Wimpress, everybody. Over from Australia.
All the way from Australia.
Welcome,
Dan Wimpress, so good to see you. First member of staff at St. Paul's. Hug it out.
Is this still live? Sorry, I just have to do this for Kirsty.
I think we can go back to the video now.
Fantastic.
So, my name is Maxine. I currently live in Los Angeles. And like Max, I had been at St. Paul since 2000 and left in about 2010, 2011 to attend a more local church where I lived in Barnes. And from Barnes, my family, so Peter and 2 children, James and Liam, some might remember them, we moved to Los Angeles in 2015. So couple of things that I remember about Simon. We moved to St. Paul's in 2000, and Peter and I were the first couple of the new team to get married at St. Paul's. So that was a very memorable time. And then in 2001, I became Simon's first PA. Didn't last very long, just because much to my surprise, I became pregnant and left about 10 months later. So I was there for almost a year. And another memory I have about Simon is the way he cares for people. He cares so much for each and every person who attends St. Paul's. And I saw that one time when I was going through a difficult time, and Simon called me one Saturday afternoon while he was having a few days away with Anna and the children, and he was walking on a beach, and he called me just to see how I was doing. And I was very touched by that. He's not just a, Monday to Friday vicar. He cared about you all of the time, and I will be forever touched that he cared for me and supported me through what was a very difficult time. So I'm sending lots of love to you and prayers for the plans that God has for you in this next season. Can't wait to see what happens. Much love to you both, Anna and Simon. Mwah.
Hi, Anna and Simon. Everyone else, I'm Candace. I'm also calling in from California, Santa Monica, and I was at St. Paul's from 2007 to, I think it was 2018, before I headed over to California. I have so many great memories at St. Paul's, many of which I was on staff there, and some of my favorites were definitely the Easter and Christmas services, and also some of the weekends away that we had. So many fun memories of Simon, and I think Simon and Ash as Oasis, and everyone dressing up as sort of Spice Girls, Beatles. Lots of fun lip syncing going on there. And aside from that, I just have some wonderful memories too of Simon and Anna and their leadership and their care for me just as a lovely family over there while I was away from Canada. And yeah, lots of fun in the office and in the team too, retreats and lots of pranks going on with Lizzie Barker and company. So yeah, lots of fun and awesome memories. I just want to wish you guys all the best. I hope you have amazing celebrations and just know how much you are loved by so many all around the world. God bless.
Simon and Anna, it's just a great privilege to be here with you tonight. And as Dave and Katrina, we were at St. Paul's for 10 years or so. And we're now living in California too. It seems like excellent Paul's people are in California.
So we were both on staff, started in 2002. I was a children's pastor from 2002 to 2009. And those years still just have such fond memories for us, just our whole time in London, but especially St. Paul's, and then Simon. I think for me, Simon's just integrity and authenticity, and I know it's been mentioned, just the compassion, the caring that Simon shows is something I always just really think about. And then the other thing is Simon actually married us. We met on staff at St. Paul's. I think we may have been the first staff couple to get married by Simon. And there is something on Simon's life for marriage ceremonies. I don't think I've ever been to another wedding where the ceremony is felt as powerful as when Simon does it. And every wedding we go to, we both comment, even if it's amazing, we're like, there is just something on Simon when it comes to the marriage ceremony. So that's something I always just really think about.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I would say, Simon, is you've marked us for life. You have your faithfulness, your commitment to us, to pastor us. The years that we spent at St. Paul's were so formational in our journey with the Lord, in establishing our identity. And this is all who you are and how you helped us in those times. So we're forever grateful for what you've done, and we want to bless you tonight as you move on to new journeys. So thank you, Simon and Anna.
Yeah, Simon, you've really been a father to us and a father to so many. So we love you guys so much, and we bless you and wish we could be there.
Those amazing tributes to Simon and Anna, to your love and care. It's great to see Lizzie Barker getting outed as well.
I think there's been a lot of people who've written in from near and far who've spoken about the love that they've received from Simon and Anna and their whole family. Lots of people who wrote about how much of a father figure, how much of a parents Simon and Anna were to them. And also quite a lot of people who wrote and said they couldn't believe that Simon trusted them with the responsibility for quite big things. And I think that's definitely something I used to often think, wow, he thinks I can do this, maybe I can. And I always felt after having a meeting with Simon when I worked here, it was like, well, I'm not sure if I'm doing my job properly. And I'd go in and he might have had some sort of thing that I needed to alter, but I always came out feeling like I'd done a great job. So I think you make lots of us feel really good about ourselves and help us to do things that we didn't think we could do.
Amazing. Now, Dave and Katrina mentioned that they met on staff and got married while being here on staff. We thought it'd just be quite good to see you in the room and kind of shout out online or message us online, because the messages are going to get relayed. How many people got married here? Just raise your hands. Look at this. Fantastic. And I wonder, just looking out, actually that's a bit half-hearted. There's a big round of applause for that. That's fantastic. Simon's ministry there. Just looking out, can I see, did I see David and Alison Rust? There they are. Fantastic. Who were I think one of the first to get married here before the refurb, before the church got spruced up. So I think on the night before the wedding, there were mops and brushes, sweeping it, cleaning it for your own wedding day. So hats off to you guys.
Aww. I think it's time for us to have some more entertainment. And this church is really privileged to have a really gifted and talented people. And so we've got two people coming up, one after the other. Firstly, we've got Dimitri, who I think is going to do some spoken word. And I met Dimitri in a garden about, 12 or 13 years ago. And I said, hey, come along to church. And I was so pleased to see him tonight. He's obviously been here more than me since then. And after him, we're going to have Jemimah, who actually, I think, with Cindy, has put this event together. So she's going to come and sing after Dimitri.
Wonderful. Give it up for Dimitri.
One, two. Oh, yeah. So when I first met Perry, I would have been 14 years old. So, yeah. To put that in perspective, this year, I cringe when I say this, I turned 30. Yeah. So before I start, Simon, the vision that you created and you came here with from HDB, I've been affected by. That 14-year-old me doing Kiss the Street, going on a shovel. I did shoveling dirt. We got sweets. That was great. I loved that day. That was a quality day there. That's how you do evangelism, guys. Give out sweets, and share the gospel that way. Don't just give hardback Bibles. Soften the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. But if it wasn't for that and your vision and your heart, I wouldn't be here. To put that in perspective, I would not be in front of you. In the year 2000, when you felt called by God to be here, you impacted me, born in West London Hospital in 92, and my trajectory of my life to here, to what I do now. So I think that deserves a round of applause even before I begin. Thank you. So what I'm about to do is a spoken word. There are themes in there that relate to all of us. Not just you, Simon, sadly, sorry. There is no music and backing track, but the heart of it is what we're all about, and it encompasses us all. So here we go. Success is earned, but opportunities are given to help nurture, challenge, and grow. In life, we will have successes. We will measure it by our achievements. But our opportunities in life, we measure by ourselves or by others. In life, there will be moments where we will be like leaves in the wind. Guiding, sometimes feeling lost. Wondering where to go. And that's okay. You are all here because you have been both. at times feeling lost, but seeing and helping others through, being the light in the darkness. Success is doing your best. It is not perfection. Success is improving on what once was and drawing others in. Our journeys are like canvases, telling others about the adventures that we have had. And in addition to our canvases, please remember this: for you are able, for you are valued, for you have achieved, for you are successful. Thank you. Now, the reason why I wanted to say that is because on the journey of being part of this church, you've all been that. You've all had moments where the world has been dark, and this has been our light. We've all been moments where Simon, sitting with you and talking with you, you've helped teach us. We've been community. Right now, when we've come back here, we're sharing stories. That this wall right here is our tapestry of the adventures that we've had and the adventures that are to be continued. A legacy that was started and a legacy that will be continued. An offering, a Passover, a blessing, and a gift. Success is doing better than you once was, day by day. Thank you. Artist Jemimah, please give her a round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your evening. Thank you so much, Dimitri. I'm going to sing a song that I've written, and it's called Friend. And actually, it is about the Lord, but I want to dedicate it to Simon and Anna, and just say thank you so much for, since I arrived in 2017, a little TLG intern, and now I work in a cafe and do all sorts of things. Just thank you so much. You've always been so supportive. Always asked me, how are you doing? Always remembered things that I've said, or always noticed, always been very, very supportive with all my music. So thank you so much. Hey friend, remember when I tried to hide in the crowd? Instead you had me standing taking a bow. Friend, afraid, forgot the last line in the chorus. Said you didn't even notice. Friend, even if I fall, you fall with me. No rush to get back up, you're always with me. Even if I hit ground zero, or somewhere in the middle, the foundation of your love is that you'll catch me somewhere in the middle. Even if I hit ground zero, the gravity of love is that you'll catch me, yeah. Oh, 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 that you'll catch me. Friends, some stick around for a season, others stay around for a lifetime. Friends, now
foundation of your love is that you'll catch me somewhere in the middle, even if I hit ground zero. The gravity of love is that you'll catch me, yeah. Oh, 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 that you'll catch me, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Even if I hit ground zero or somewhere in the middle, the foundation of your love is that you'll catch me somewhere in the middle. Even if I hit ground zero, you keep pulling and you're my magnet friend.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Jemimah.
Amazing. Now we've had a number of people watching online, and they've what is this, fax or text or I don't know, some kind of technology they use these days. So David Kears and family. Oh, it says here now in London. Well, why aren't you here? That's useless. Anyway, no, but sorry we can't be in person. You've probably got something else. You're watching the highlights of the rugby or something like that. We'd love to be able to celebrate with Simon and Anna and family, but we can't. We're really sad. But thank you for the ways in which the Downhams, and actually we should mention just all the whole family. Come on.
Woohoo, the Downhams.
Ellen, Kirsty, Beth, Joe, Simon and Anna, they blessed us in many, many ways. Look, here we go. Geelong. That's a long way away, isn't it? That's Max. Please tell Simon and Anna we're watching. Dave and Katrina, we saw them on the film there from Redding, California. Joe DJ, Joe and Steve joining from Exeter. Great to see you. Actually, and we've got a few more here from the Shires. Shire Shapers, because there was a whole thing about city. Were you here? Who was here in the city shaping era? City shaping, and then everyone left to the Shires. Charlie Canal, if you're watching, you're to blame, I think. So we've got Matt and Jenny McFarren from Oxfordshire, and Emma and Francis from Woodstock. Let's go abroad again. We've got Josh and Rachel Page from New Zealand. Auckland, New Zealand, come on. How about that? Julia Barnes from Somerset. Julia B, previously T, it says here. And she sends greetings. Lydia Corbett, who is at the youth here, and then trained somewhere remarkable, and she's now leading a church in Nottingham. And Candice, who's tuning in from California. So good to have you. Keep posting it in if you're watching. Send in your good wishes.
Now, I wonder how many people here have been on the staff at some point, whether it was just for a little short contract or for an extended period. Do you want to just raise a hand, even stand up, wave? Wow. Maybe, and who volunteered here as felt like you actually lived here, worked without pay? Very good. Now, anyone who has been on the staff will know that whatever your contract says is irrelevant if there's a job that has to be done. And one of the things that Simon may not remember, but he actually taught me how to use a vacuum cleaner. Anyway, of course, anyone who has been on the staff knows that we take our jobs, church jobs, very, very seriously. So here is a little clip of some of the things that went on in a generation previous to the one that's here now, I think.
Hi, hello, is that Line Bay? Hello, it's Natalie from St Paul's. How are you? Good. I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, I'm just confirming some requirements, basically, some last-minute things, and especially for our vicar. Is that okay? Great, okay. The first thing I need to check is just to make sure he has got the Premier Deluxe upgraded Gold Superior Room. Okay, great.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to St Paul's Hammersmith. Yeah. Not like that, just like that. Oh.
Can we just make sure that you've ordered the bulk order of the Times, the Guardian and the Independent? Is that being taken care of? Okay. But just a word of warning, please don't wake him up, okay? Just don't wake him up when you deliver them. Okay, thanks.
Drake, Simon likes me more than he likes you. Because I know the Bible.
No, Simon likes me more than you because my hair reminds him of how he used to look.
Another thing on my list is, I think, was it right, there is a sauna in the room, is that right? Okay, as well as that, can I have the jacuzzi? Yeah, brilliant. That'd be fab, thank you.
Simon likes me more than you because I've been to Carlisle.
Simon likes me more than you because you're feeble.
Simon likes me more than you because I'm mature.
No, Simon likes me more. He loves me.
Okay, and champagne, brilliant. Rose petals, turn-down service, walk-in wardrobe, private butler, brilliant. That is all fantastic.
So sorry to hear that. No, that's awful. That's really awful. Really. I'm so sorry. I'll see what I can do about it. Let me have a look on the database if I can get that number for you. Sorry, we don't actually have it. Just hold on a moment. I'm sorry, no, we can't help. No. Okay, I'll get Simon to give you a buzz. All right. Thanks for calling. I'm really sorry. Yeah, no, I'm really sorry. Bye.
Delicious. Mummy will be back very soon. Would you like a cup of tea? Milk? Drink? Tea? I'll have some too. That's yum. Would you like some?
Not really.
Mummy will be back very soon.
Are you okay? Did something happen today?
Tea?
Thanks so much, guys. It's been really affirming, really great for us, hasn't it?
Brilliant. Good to see you. Take care now. Bye. Well, don't you think we ought to get married?
Brilliant. Ian Hill, where are you? Good evening. If I've not had the pleasure of meeting you, my name's Pete Wynter, and I'm Vicar Designate at St Paul's Hammersmith. And together with my wife Sarah and our family, we've moved to this area, and we've been learning over the last 6 months from Simon, Anna, and all the team here, and getting prepared for all that is the future. But this is the moment where we want to really meet and to hear some of the stories from Simon and Anna themselves. So please would you welcome Simon and Anna Downham. I feel like sort of Michael Aspel, you know, this is your life or something. There's kind of, you know, some voices coming from the back of the room and all that's going on. Simon and Anna, we've got a few minutes now to speak, and then a few minutes after the break. We're going to have a little break in a few moments. But we just want to hear something of the story from you guys. We've loved all that's going on, but I know that most of us are gathered in this evening because we want to honor you. We want to remember all that's happened, celebrate 22 years of being here at St Paul's. So why don't you just begin with, you know, the beginning? Like, how did you come to be here? How did you end up at St Paul's?
Can I just interrupt because there's something that's on my heart. Dimitri, you celebrated success and you pointed to canvases behind us. And I have to tell you, it's an epic fail, and I'm really sorry, people. It's an epic fail. Pete, Sarah, if you can succeed, God bless you. Well, I don't know. I think Will Britton was coming. Is Will Britton here? Somewhere. Is Will here? He was signed in. Anyway, a very long time ago, Will Britton was my prayer partner. Will was one of the first church wardens here. And we were meeting in a burger bar in South Kensington, Luigi Malone's, and we were praying about our respective futures. And we were praying over, because I knew it was my time at HTB coming up to plant a church. And we had literally, do you remember A to Z's? We had an A to Z open. And we were literally praying over A to Z. And it was open at the Hammersmith page. And I can only say the Spirit of God fell on us in Luigi Malone's. And there was something about this roundabout. And I went the next day to Sandy Miller, the then vicar of HTB, and said, what do you know about this church on the roundabout at Hammersmith? And he said to me, it's a church which is in some difficulty at the moment. The vicar's not been very well. You have no earthly prospect of being vicar of St Paul's Hammersmith. You have no earthly prospect. It's got the finest vicarage in London. It's got amazing...
hold on, sorry. Is that true? Is it the finest vicarage in London? I promise that's not why we've come. I promise you.
It's the old vicarage,
okay.
Pete. It's the old vicarage on the river.
Too late.
And there is a substantial trust fund. And Barry Stead, who's here, was one of the trustees of the trust fund.
Barry, why don't you quickly stand? Come on, Barry. Barry's one of the longest members of St Paul's. He won't stand, but he'll raise a hand.
Yeah. And so there are all these vicars queuing up to do their last 5 years in London at a church. You have no earthly prospect. I said, well, it felt to us that the Spirit of God was on this. Can we pray? He said, of course you can pray. So we prayed, and Will, who was with me, we prayed. We used to meet in what is now Kindred. It was a burger bar. And we used to walk around the church just praying, not knowing where that would lead to. And about 5-6 weeks later, there's a man called Chris Smith, who was the diocesan secretary. He rang up and said to me, the Bishop of London has just walked into my office and said, I've been praying about Simon Downham and his future, which is, I'd never met the bishop, and it was a relief that he was praying for his curers. And he said to Chris Smith, I think he is the answer to the Hammersmith problem. Wow. And and it was hard. I know Barry's here. It was hard for the existing congregation. But within a few months, the Bishop of London had created a project. And so we were here. It was a miracle.
Anna, what were some of your first memories of arriving in Hammersmith? All this calling and many, many burgers. I presume you weren't eating quite as many burgers.
I didn't get the burgers.
No.
I think just looking back, I remember the first time I walked into this building was once we'd sort of, as it were, signed all the contracts and everything, the deed was done and we were coming. And I remember walking in and thinking, we'd come from HDB, which is big and bright, and we walked in and I just remember thinking, this place is a barn. It's just enormous, and also how dark it was because it hadn't been cleaned for a long time. And I just remember walking in, it felt sort of cathedral-like and a bit overwhelming, but very, very exciting. And I think I'd always had a sense every time I drove past the building on the flyover or underneath it, just that God's hand was on that place, and that it just used to make my heart flutter. So I knew there was something about St Paul's.
I mean, my folks live out west, and when Anna and I were dating, we often used to go out Oxford way. And every time we drove past here, Anna would say, there's something about that church. There's something about that church. Because Anna's very prophetic, but yeah.
So this kind of calling emerged and you arrived. I think you had an interesting first 8 a.m. service. The early service used to be an 8 a.m. service. Tell us about your experience of that first 8 a.m.
I did feed that back, I'll let you. I was thinking about all our stories to tell. I was thinking, I really don't think any of them are repeatable in public. But you can have a go at this one.
Does anyone from the early days remember a gentleman called Peter Mason? Barry will remember Peter Mason. And Peter Mason, you may, while you remember him, he had a beard and a limp, and he came up to you after a service and would go, he didn't have any teeth, do you know how old I am? Do you remember Peter? I'm 97, and it's my birthday. And my gas has been cut off, and I'm 500 quid in arrears. Peter took thousands off me in the early days. He took thousands off Barry too. And at the very first service, Barry might remember this, and I was on my best behavior. I was wearing my robes and everything. It was an 8 o'clock service here, and all the continuing congregation were there. And I remember saying to the church secretary at the time, Richard, what do you do about collections? And he said, oh no, we have what we call a retiring collection. There'll be a plate at the back. So towards the end of the service, I said, I understand it's your custom here to have a retiring collection, and there will be a retiring collection as you leave. At which point, Peter stood up and shouted at the top of his voice, "You can't be effing leaving. You've just arrived." so, what do you mean you're effing retiring? So I thought, okay, Lord, there's a bit of work to do here.
So things kind of burst into life from that moment. Thankfully, you weren't retiring then, and not even now. But anyway, that's for later. But things began to kind of evolve, grow. People came as part of a sort of initiative to reinvigorate the life of the church, and you led those early years. And we're going to share some stories of that as well as we go. But one thing you just mentioned, Anna, was the building. And many people, even those who are not here tonight, will remember sort of scaffolding and all sorts that went up in such a public space, a gateway church to the city. Just tell us a bit about that, how that evolved, and then just the kind of the building as it emerged, and just stories around and how you made that work with all that went on.
I remember our eldest daughter, one of her school friends lived over in Barnes. And we had dinner with the parents, and the father he asked us what we did and what church, because Simon had said he was a vicar, what church are we working at? And we said, well, St. Paul's, Hammersmith. And he said, I don't know that one. And we said, it's just over the bridge on the roundabout. And he said, I've never seen it. And he used to walk over the bridge to the tube every day for 30 years, and he had never seen it. And I mean, it was dark, it was a bit dirty, but not that, but there was a real sense that it was sort of shrouded in, it hadn't, it takes a lot of money to sort out a building like this. And as soon as we were here, we just felt we needed to upgrade the building. There was this incredible parquet flooring, and there was a circus underneath, yes. There was a circus school that used to come in every, or maybe twice a week. And everybody used to talk about the circus school that used to happen in here. But it wasn't great for the floor, and all their kit sort of sitting around. So we embarked on renovating this place and had incredible people on the team and working. And I don't know if you can see up there, there's the cross. And when we first arrived, when they started, once we'd started the clean-up, we were cleaning, and nobody knew that cross was there because you couldn't see it because it was dirty. So it was quite a revelation, little things like that.
Tim Stilwell's got a lot to answer for. We're on an early summer holiday in Cornwall, and the phone goes, and I wasn't secure enough in those days to switch off my phone. I'm actually probably still not, but and Tim says, the ceilings have fallen in, and one of these triangles had crashed to the floor. Mercifully, nobody was in here. We've got to shut the building and abandon it because it's not safe. And that began the big journey of restoration. Inside, outside, and then I hope you get to see this timeline. Cindy and her team, it is absolutely extraordinary. At the beginning of the timeline, I've got hair. Thank you very much, Chris. But halfway down, you will see the advertising hoardings. Who remembers the advertising hoardings? And we raised, I saw Jonathan Gill. Jonathan Gill's here. Our greatest ever director of operations, apart from our present director of operations. We love you, Belinda. we raised over £2 million through that advertising, which restored the outside of the building. And again, just a story, Jonathan will remember this. We retained a veto over the content. That was the PCC. We were absolutely insistent, of course. So the first thing that we were offered was to promote the Da Vinci Code. So it had to, maybe not. Second thing we were offered was Dolce & Gabbana, what was called heroin chic, which was these emaciated women lying around in fine clothes. But here was the biggie. The third thing that we were offered was Marks and Spencer's underwear. And I remember the debate that went on at PCC and senior staff level was this...
Were you in the debate, Anna? No, okay.
Was this salacious or not? Was it unhelpful? And we concluded, since pretty much all of us were wearing Marks and Spencer's smalls, that this was not salacious, that it was entirely appropriate that the nation should have suitable underwear. Until somebody pointed out that when a young lady wearing a bra and panties was blown up to 30 meters by 10 meters, it was likely to cause crash after crash on the roundabout. And then finally, we got this call, and they said, we got this company wants to launch a new product in Europe. And their chief executive is driving in from Heathrow. And when he gets to the flyover, we'd like him to see a newly designed advert for this new product. And that man was Steve Jobs. And the product was the launch in Europe of the Apple iPod. And you'll see the poster up there, which was designed first for this site. And after that, we were flying. Do you remember that, Jonathan? And we were flying. They were paying $60,000 a week for these. It was amazing. And that was just, again, the provision of God, because we would never, I know that's controversial, but the provision of God, we would never have rebuilt this building.
I mean, it's staggering what you've achieved and what you've done in that sense. But I'm aware of time. We need to come to a break in a moment. Yeah. But actually, want us to quickly turn to, then all that God has done through the time here. We've heard the phrase "city shapers." The Shire shapers is new to me, but I am learning. I'm in this process, and I'm sure the Shires are being shaped. But you talked about city shapers. Things like Spear and Crosslight all launched and began and made headway here. All the ministry you did with young people and sort of facilitating youth groups and youth work that began. You can see it all on the timeline as well. We could spend hours talking about all that God's done here. Yeah. But what did you see, particularly in those those early years, as like God began to move and you saw things happen? Just speak to that for a moment.
Ooh. There's so much we could say, so much I could say. I think when you come to a new area and you just start to pray, the possibilities are just endless. And then I think the thing I feel most about leading a church with Simon and all of that is the further on you get, you realise it's just not about us. It's not about the leaders. It's the people, and it's what God's doing in our midst, and just all the sort of visions of the people in the congregation, their hearts to go to the young people, their hearts to go to the people on the street or have night shelters, Spear starting, and the Crosslight, all of that. Just it all came from people like you guys, many of you here, and that has been so amazing. And so although Simon, particularly, the visionary, the leader, actually all of these things have come from the people. And I think that's such a powerful thing, that actually it's God doing the work, and he's gone before us. And I'm really excited to come back in 20 years' time to see the other side of the wall with all that God's going to be doing in the next 20 years.
I want to... I want to see if Pete's got any hair. Do you know?
It's genetic, and I'm all right.
I have to say, this church was already renowned for its social action ministry. My predecessor here pioneered the most extraordinary work with HIV/AIDS when it wasn't fashionable. And I remember, Helene's Brown is somewhere. I remember very early on, Helene came to me and said, she was a relatively new Christian, and we'd been asked by the West London Night Shelter Scheme whether we would provide a venue. And I said, oh, look, we're just starting as a church. I honestly don't think we can help, but if you need a venue, then you can have this, but I don't think we'll produce a team. Anyway, I said to the then congregation, including Helene, anyone interested in being part of a night shelter scheme, would you pitch up on this night? Half the new congregation pitched up. Helene ended up training the whole night shelter team across London. And it was almost from the very beginning, there was this deep compassion that we'd inherited, and a deep commitment. And again, there were the projects. I just, Sam and Shanice Stevens, I think Sam might be here. Again, in the city shaping days when we were really pushing this, Sam came up with this, do you remember Street Bank? I mean, it was an amazing scheme, and it's now something called Next Door, which isn't quite as good as Street Bank, but... And then Ryan Davis is here. Where's Ryan? Right. Not a lot of people know this, but ChristianFlatshare.org emerged out of this congregation led by Ryan Davis. And it was an amazing thing. And I just want to say to Anna, and I think I know where we're going, so just allow me to keep going.
Not for long.
Yeah, I know. Okay, here it is.
You're the vicar. You can do what you like.
2020 was our 20th celebration, and we wanted to have a 20 in 2020 celebration. And tonight, I know things are focusing on me, but I want to say nothing without my dear wife, Anna. Nothing. But I also want to say, but nothing without you, nothing without us. And the timeline, and some of you've dipped in early and dispersed. Some of you arrived more recently. Some of you have been here all the way through. But the amount of stuff that's happened is because of us and that commitment. And one of the things that we wanted to do with 20 in 2020 was just celebrate. And then, of course, COVID landed, and our plans for the future were beginning to crystallize. Then we thought, okay, we'll do 21 in 2021. And tonight is 22 in 2022. So it's celebrating all that's gone on in the renewal of St. Paul's. And every contribution that's been made, people online, everyone in this room. And it's only through that collective investment. In 2020, we decided we would raise the 400 fund, 20 times 20, and we'd raised 400,000. It's now 22 by 22, the 484 fund, which we're launching tonight, 484,000. And it's only plausible because someone who lives in our parish, who runs a large foundation, has said he's going to give £250,000 in match funding. And what we wanted to do in 2020, then in 21, and now in 2022, is celebrate the past and free the future, and to sow into our collective legacy, those with a past connection, those with a present and a foreseeable future connection, and see if we could raise, now because of this match funding, up to £240,000, and that appeal will be going to the church. It's our Vision Series and Gift Day coming, and then on the final service on April the 10th, which everyone's welcome, we'll see if we can complete this appeal. And what we'd like to do, we'd like to renew all the lighting. Jonathan will remember, we just missed the LED revolution. And we know that if we spend £100,000 on restoring and installing LED lighting, we'll get a payback within 4 years, and we'll be well on our way to carbon net zero, whatever that means. Who here has struggled, even tonight, I'm looking at John Barker, with the acoustics? We never solved that, did we? But we would really like to enhance the sound, the vision in the new era of online and streaming. We would really like to solve the acoustic issues. We would really like to do whatever needs doing in refinishing flooring. We never, Jonathan, got round to finishing heritage quality storage at the back or in these rooms here. We'd like to see a platform fit for post-pandemic mission in the 21st century. And we just invite you to join in with that. Just sow into the legacy. Sow into the legacy and see the next 20 years with a platform that's refreshed.
And so that's amazing. I love the way you just described all of that as well. And that's an invitation. We're going to take a break in just a moment. But that's an invitation that you might want to engage with in the break if you'd like to. You'll see that there's envelopes on your tables. I think I've got one here myself, ready for mine. Here we go. Here we go. There's envelopes. And if you'd like to take part in that, this 22 in 22 years celebration, celebrating the past, releasing the future, and you'd like to give, then you can find details on these envelopes. There are various giving stations and stuff as well. If you'd like to be part of that and launching St. Paul's into all that will come, celebrating all that has come. So we'd love you to be part of that and engage with that during the break as well.
Can I just say, if it's a concern for anyone, I am so delighted, we are so delighted that we're handing on to Pete and Sarah, who are the most, as many of you already found out, the most outstanding leaders. And I would say this, but when we were interviewing Pete and just planning and praying, he said the thing that really gets me about St. Paul's, and he's got his own stories about how God has connected Pete and Sarah here, was I just love the city shaper vision. So I want you to know that somebody's going to be continuing to carry this vision, and we're really grateful.
Well, we're grateful as well, and I have lots more to say about that, but I'm going to save it until after our little interval. Because we're going to have another conversation. There's a few more things to enjoy, a couple of videos, another couple of acts, and a final conversation after a short break. And so we're going to have that chance to really celebrate as well. We're going to take a little break just for 10 minutes, an opportunity for you to go and restock your glasses, head to the restroom, whatever else as well. Then we'll be back just for a little bit longer to continue celebrating. Let's go and celebrate, do the fund if you want to, get some drinks, and we'll come back after the break.
Right now, all you see is the stony ground. Right now, all you feel is what's lost and can't be found. Right now, I can't say what you wanna hear. Right now, all your thoughts are in yesteryear, and you've been walking through the forest. You almost lost your way. You've been pushing through the darkness. I hear you when you say, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta wait until the time is right. You've gotta let your heart break until the time is right. I know you feel you can't wait until the time is right. There's something that's being made right now. Unseen. Right now, deep in the earth there grows a fragile seed. Right now, all you see is a barren land. Right now, you've got a friend who takes your hand, and you've been walking through the forest, almost lost your way, and you've been pushing through the darkness. I hear you when you say, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta wait until the time is right. You gotta let your heart break until the time is right. I know you feel you can't wait until the time is right. There's something that's being made right now. Right now, right now, right now. You've got to look at things unseen. Deep in the earth that grows a seed. There's everything that you need now, now, now. You've got to look at things unseen. Deep in the earth that grows a seed. There's everything that you need now, now, now. You've got to look at things unseen. Deep in the earth that grows a seed. There's everything that you need now, now, now. You've been walking through the forest. You almost lost your way, and you've been pushing through the darkness. I hear you when you say, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta wait until the time is right. You gotta let your heart break until the time is right. I know you feel you can't wait until the time is right. There's something that's being made right now. Sometimes you just gotta wait until the time is right. You gotta let your heart break until the time is right. I know you feel you can't wait until the time is right. There's something that's being made right now.
I saw you falling long before you fell, and I saw you draw your sword and knew it well. Just two riddles that she left me when she disappeared. I tried to read between the lines to know what made you stay, what made you come and go. Whoa. Between answers I felt so alone, my dear. But in the fault lines, would you be mine? 'Cause I don't know much about love other than what you showed me. So I'm waking up just to love again. It'll only be like you told me. She knew the rhythm that moved my feet. She knew the way it made me feel complete. Whoa, she played it on and on just to see me smile. And looking back, I could not say what came along to make you feel this way. Another song or another phrase, more in time. But in its fault lines, would you be mine? Oh, 'cause I don't know much about love other than what you showed me. So I'm waking up just to love again. It'll only be like you told me. And that's young, that's foolish, I know it's true. But I've not yet thought past you. Not yet past you. I know in time memories die. There will be no more sleepless nights. But she showed me life through new eyes. And I wouldn't change any of that for the world. But I still love that girl, so I'll be holding on to hope. Still I don't know much about love other than what you showed me. So I'm waking up just to love again. It'll only be like you told me. And that's young, that's foolish, I know it's true. But I have not yet thought past you. Not yet 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 past you. Not yet, not yet. Not yet, not yet. Not yet, not yet.
Hey friend, remember when I tried to hide it in the crowd? Instead you had me standing taking a bow. Friend, afraid, forgot the last line in the chorus. Said you didn't even notice. Friend, even if I fall, you fall with me. No rush to get back up, you're always with me. Even if I hit ground zero, or somewhere in the middle, the foundation of your love is that you'll catch me. Somewhere in the middle, even if I hit ground zero, the gravity of love is that you'll catch me, yeah. Oh, 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 that you'll catch me. Friends, some stick around for a season, others stay around for a lifetime. Friends, my friend, you don't need a reason to be there for my lifetime. Friend, you've got all the time and it won't run out. Even if I hit ground zero, or somewhere in the middle, the foundation of your love is that you'll catch me somewhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your 1 minute call. It's a 1 minute call to return to your seats for the second half of our celebration this evening.
is that you'll catch me somewhere in the middle. Even if I hit ground zero, you keep pulling and pulling, and you're my magnet friend.
Did you notice, Perry, how the really important people sat down? Okay, so we should stand up, really. We know our place. Come on in, let's be having you. Back to your seats, everybody. It's a night of reunions. We are wallowing in nostalgia. It's all good.
So many stories to share with each other. They've all gone quiet, Tim. I think they're expecting to hear from you.
Well, just as people find their seats, I wanted to just take this opportunity, my own personal tribute. You heard Simon there say that Tim Stilwell has got an awful lot to answer for. And what I think Simon means is that, indeed, he had gone on holiday, and it was the start of his 3-month sabbatical, which in and of itself demonstrates the trust that people have been talking about. That he'd leave someone sort of young and innocent and wet behind the ears as me, no idea really what I was doing. He'd leave me in charge of this awesome place. Let's be honest, it's with all due respect, it's not, St. Giles and St. Geoffrey in the Marsh. This is quite a place, quite a ministry. And Simon sort of kind of left me to it. And yeah, the ceiling fell in, and we had to close the whole building. Oh, excuse me, bit of crisp stuck in the throat. It's not emotion. It could get emotional. But it's, there was that phone call. But then, to Simon's credit, he kind of left us, Jonathan Gill and others on the team, he kind of left us to it, to manage with the scaffold in place. We had 1 or 2 weddings. Anyone? Helen and Mike here? I remember doing their wedding. We kind of put fairy lights in the scaffold and just made the best we could of what was essentially a building site. But tribute to Simon and to Anna for kind of entrusting me and us while they had their sabbatical. But tell you what I would say is the whole of the inside renovated. We discovered there was that cross. The whole of the outside cleaned, and then the whole of the extension, £7.2 million. That's no small undertaking. And, you hear the tributes paid, people saying, oh, Simon gave us so much time. I couldn't believe he, met with me. He gave me the time. And what Simon sort of confided to me, and I hope he doesn't, sort of showing the inner workings here, but he said, Tim, I must admit, sometimes my head hit the pillow, and I sometimes found myself asking, what have I done? We are several £1 million in debt. There's all sorts of stuff. The building is sort of half done. How are we going to find the money? How is this going to get done? Oh, God, please. And he generously tributes all of us in playing our part, and the Lord, of course. But I tell you what, it's the measure of the man that you can undertake millions and millions of pounds worth of building project and have the time to make you feel like you're the only person that he's paying attention to at that time. That's phenomenal capacity. from a leader such as Simon. We honour you, Simon, for the way in which you uniquely do that. And I've seen that. I say that because I've seen it at first hand. So thank you, Simon.
And I think for me, my 8 years here were probably the happiest and most fun of my working career. And I felt like I was working amongst family and friends, and through the good and the bad. So it was a really joyful time. So if you are thinking of where you might put your spare cash, I would really recommend you, if this has been a good place for you, to, really pray about it. Ask the Lord, what do you want me to give into the future of St. Paul's? Why wouldn't we want to invest in happiness and goodness going forward? And I did just want to ask if there's anyone here who actually became a Christian in this room. Is there anyone here who became a Christian?
Come on.
Ian
there.
There's a few others, yeah.
Fantastic.
Any
Amazing.
more? There's some at the back, yeah. There's quite a lot of people who had, at the back. And anyone here who had a kind of life-changing sort of encounter with the Lord in your time here? Yeah,
Come on, look
loads
at those
of
hands. Forest of hands.
Loads
That's
of
amazing.
hands. I mean, most of us will have had some sort of profound meeting with the Lord through the ministry that was going on at this church. So, do you think it's time for something else?
I think it's time for something else now. Tom Holbird. Who remembers Tom Holbird? Come on. Tom Holbird, or the Holy Bird. I remember,
or lastminute.tom.
It's a long time ago, but I remember trying to be down with the kids, and I thought, why don't we just call him the Bird? And then I realised that I was actually being quite rude. I wonder why everyone was giggling. Anyway, Tom Holbird. There's a little video tribute from him.
Simon and Anna Downham sending you so much love today as we celebrate what has been an absolutely incredible ministry at St. Paul's Hammersmith. I had the amazing privilege of being St. Paul's first ever intern, and I have learned so much from you, Simon. It was you that really gave me a vision for church planting, for revitalising churches, which has become my ministry now that I'm leading a church. I don't think I'd be doing that if it wasn't for your incredible example. It was you that gave this incredible theological vision for transforming communities, for the people of God, deeply embedded and engaged in revitalising and transforming communities with the goodness of God, and to see the flourishing of Spear and Resurgo built on the bedrock of that theological vision. And it was so fun working with you. I just think of your incredible warm welcome every time I saw you. Tom Holbird! I think of the fun we had, like going away down to Pulborough, incredibly nifty on the touch rugby pitch. I think of you just making a complete idiot of yourself. S Club 7 songs at church weekends away. You could be a bit controversial. Close your ears, Perry May. It's a sin to move to the countryside. You would crease me up sometimes. I remember you describing really affectionately an elderly member of the congregation and saying, oh, this person is a world expert in rare diseases. And he looks like he's had every single one of them. And Simon, if it wasn't for you and your bravery in taking on St. Paul's Hammersmith, Katie and I wouldn't have met, wouldn't have been married. So you guys have truly changed the shape and direction of my life. And I am so thankful. You're always welcome down to Brighton. Sending you love and prayers and blessings.
I think it's time for a little bit more live action. So apparently during the lockdown years at St. Paul's Hammersmith, there was Professor Potts and Lady Potts who entertained the children and kept the families connected. So I think we're having them on next.
I think we are. And then straight after that, Fabio is going to bring a couple of music pieces. He's on the staff here, or a member of the congregation here. So we'll welcome Fabio straight after that.
Yay.
Mrs. Potts, what are you doing?
Well, apparently our new neighbours are moving in. I'm so excited.
Well, stop being so nosy and come and drink your tea. Come on. Come and sit down.
I mean, it's just really exciting, though. I mean, do we know anything about these new neighbours? We just don't want any old person coming in here, do we?
Well, I heard he used to be the vicar at St. Paul's Church in Hammersmith.
Oh, really? Now, oh, yeah, that's the one that's on the roundabout, isn't it? It's the one where I used to feed the pigeons all the time.
Ah, yeah.
Yes.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I hope he wasn't the one that chased you off, though.
Oh, yes. He could be ever so rude. Oh, my goodness me.
That could be a bit awkward, couldn't it?
Oh, gosh.
Still, fancy them choosing that house.
I know.
I mean, I knew what was being grown there. You wouldn't find that in the average garden centre, would you?
It was a little bit dodgy, wasn't it? Especially when the police came round. It's going to be so nice, though, now to have a reverend living next door to us. What do we know about him?
Well, rumour has it...
Hold on a minute. I can't hear you. The train's going past. Okay, go on, carry on.
Well, rumour has it he talks a lot, you know. He kind of goes long.
Oh, that's not good.
But rumour also has it that he was to blame when we had that hosepipe ban.
No.
Last year, I couldn't water my plants.
Oh.
You see, when he baptises, he doesn't just sprinkle. He dunks, like in a big pool.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, listen. Oh, I think they've got a dog. Let me have a look. Oh, he's a lovely dog, Professor Potts.
Do you know, I knew they had a dog
Oh.
because rumour had it his dog did the business in the church.
No. Well, rumour has it, so did the new vicar's dog.
What's his name?
What, the dog or the vicar? He's called, something to do with seasons. I think it's Pete Summer, that's it, Pete Summer.
Pete Summer? No, not Pete Summer. It wasn't Pete Summer.
No?
Pete Autumn?
Oh, that doesn't sound right, no.
Spring?
No. Pete Wynter, that's it.
Yeah, Pete Wynter.
Pete Wynter.
Hey, did you remember when there was all that trouble there with those bones? Do you think that was the dog?
Oh, what, you mean the dog was digging them up? Oh, maybe he was. I mean, there was an awful lot of bones. And it's all a little bit strange. From what I heard that the vicar, he just like stored them in all these boxes and he put them all in the bell tower. Oh, I didn't think that's very nice.
Bit spooky, if you ask me.
Oh, absolutely.
Not sure what was going on there. But hey, speaking of spooky, didn't the church have to close because that cross fell off the roof?
Oh, yes. Oh, that doesn't sound good, does it? I'm starting to wonder what kind of vicar he was.
Well, the same thing better not happen here and land on my conservatory, I'm telling you.
Oh, Professor Potts, all you ever think about is your plants. I do remember something now. Do you remember Fraser?
I remember Fraser.
He went there and he asked him to pray for his hearing. I remember that. He puts his hands on his head, the vicar does, and starts praying and praying and praying and praying. And then he takes his hands off his ears and he says, "How's your hearing?" And Fraser says, "It's not till next week."
That's good. Now, let me have a look.
Oh, dear me.
Oh, his wife looks lovely.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Oh.
She'll like my dahlias, I think.
Oh, I'm sure she will, Professor Potts. Let me have a look. Oh. I think he's coming out now. Oh. Professor Potts. We're going to just love him. I can tell. He's got a bald head, just like you.
Hi everyone. I'm just gonna play you a piece tonight. When I first joined St. Paul's, Elijah had organised a bit of a classical concert, and that was one of the first times I met Simon and Anna. So I thought I'd play the same piece for you tonight. And I read a really interesting article in the Fountain of All Knowledge, the Daily Mail today, which said that scientifically it's been proven that wine tastes better when you listen to classical music. So for all of you who've still got a glass of wine, I encourage you to drink during the next 5 minutes.
Look at that seamless stage change. So good. Would you please welcome back Simon and Anna Downham? Simon and Anna, take a seat. And we're just going to take a couple more minutes just to hear a few more, just want a couple more stories and a couple more anecdotes as well, really. But we want to acknowledge as well, together, collectively this evening, all that you have poured into St. Paul's for the last 22 years. Ministry is full of joys, full of delights, full of God doing amazing things. It's full of challenges and pain and hope and carrying all the different emotions of the area, everything. It's huge. There have been highs and lows, and I know particularly that you have often dealt with some of the pressure moments with pranks. Tell us a few stories about Hammersmith ghosts and Roman coins.
I just wanted to say, Fabio, thank you, and the other musicians. One of the things over the years is, again, the people in this room represent extraordinary giftings, and what a privilege. And this piano, who remembers Sarah Bastin and Claire King and Elisabetta Bell? Sarah and Claire brought a friend called Caroline Clipsham. She's a brilliant pianist, and she came to faith here. And she was a sponsored concert pianist by Bluthner. And Bluthner send these grand pianos round with their star pianists. And after 2 years, they take a £70,000 piano out of circulation. And Caroline arranged for us to get this piano. And there happened to be an American hedge fund manager in the congregation at the time who said he'd put up the 10,000 to get the piano. And that was just indicative of all the ways in which God has always provided. My biggest moments of stress, apart from the personal failures and all of that in terms of just not leading well, but the biggest stresses have come with the finances, and just, are we going to make budget, and are we going to raise the money, and all of that. And I'd inherited from when I was a city lawyer and all those kind of deals in the early 80s and the Thatcher boom time, that in the city we just regressed to childhood and played pranks just to relieve the pressure. And a couple of stories. Do you remember when the archaeologists were taking up the bones at the back? And it was an absolute nightmare. It was a planning condition. We had to have the bones taken up and a full archaeological report. And the architects, Jonathan Gill will remember this, and Will Saxby and Sarah Jackson, if she was here, they were the stars of delivering this project. They'd said to us, look, the worst thing that can possibly happen is if you find Roman remains, because then everything stops, and that's it. The project's finished. And there were these bright-eyed and bushy-tailed archaeologists from Oxford. And our kids had just been to the Fishbourne Roman villa, and they'd come back with plastic Roman coins. And I couldn't resist it. It was so foolish. But I buried at the bottom of one of the trial pits 2 plastic Roman coins. So suddenly there was this screaming and shouting from the archaeologists as they came up with Roman coins. At which point I had to confess that was one. But my greatest memory funniest memory. Does everyone remember the story of the Hammersmith ghost? So it's a true story that every 50 years, the Hammersmith ghost appears in our churchyard. And apparently there was an old sea captain, and the churchyard extended down to the river, and there was a sea mist. And down further west towards Blackline Lane, there was a bakery. And one of the bakers, covered in flour after his shift, was in the churchyard, and the sea captain encountered this ghostly figure in the mists and shot him, as you do with ghosts. Anyway, he was reputed to reappear every 50 years. Now, we didn't know this, but after about 3 years here, we started to get phone calls from the professor of parapsychology, or whatever it's called, for ghost studies from Oxford and Cambridge, and then from some Japanese academics. And they all said, the anniversary of this appearance is coming up. So can we come, please, and set up our tracking equipment and all of that? And if you look at one of the photos here, in the back, where the center is now, was a kind of deconsecrated graveyard, a bit of a car park, and lots of bushes. And who remembers Graveyard Dave? Graveyard Dave spent 5 years sleeping in the bushes. And he would go in, he had a little cardboard village in the bushes, and he would go in about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, make camp, and then he would come out at dawn. And I said to Dave, there's going to be some people in the car park with recording equipment, and because they think a ghost is here. So I said to Dave, Dave, if you can, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd like you to come out. I said, you don't need to say anything, Dave, because once they see you, they'll be so scared. Everyone, the Oxford, the Cambridge people had all gone home. It was only the Japanese left. Graveyard Dave came out of the bush about 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's reputed that you could hear the screams from the Japanese academics who ran for their lives. I just want to. I think I saw Rupert here. A generation of colleagues, Perry, Tim, others, and under stress, I just get childish, and I'm really sorry.
It's a good top tip. It'll help us as we go forwards into the future as well. So watch out. I haven't asked this question to either of you or prepared you either, so I'm putting you on the spot. But just something, what is it? What's something that you've learnt about you and God in the last 22 years of ministering here? Something perhaps more about who God is or your relationship with him. What would that be that you would like to leave with us?
Oh, I think there's a book in this. There's so much to say. I just think how unbelievably faithful God is. I mean, unbelievably faithful and kind and loving, and isn't expecting us to be perfect. He just wants us to follow him. And that's so simple, but do we actually know that? How much do we really know that? Yeah, I think that's the kind of the main thing, just his amazing faithfulness. And I think I said earlier just how it's not about us. It's not just about leading a church, but for all of us. We're all in it together, and whether you're still at St. Paul's or in another church somewhere else, you are part of the body. You are all part of the body. You are all powerful in that sense. And God is leading us. So yeah, treasure one another, and God is very kind.
I think well, there's lots of things, but when I was reflecting a bit earlier, I felt that the gift of all of you. So I have learned more through being loved and supported through all the rubbish times. People's immense patience and kindness, not only to us, but to each other. I mean, something happened to us in lockdown when somehow we became the church I think we were always called to be. And with Pete and Sarah coming now, there is an extraordinary renewal going on. And God is always at work. He's always before us. He's around us. He's behind us. Perry was just reminding me of an early thing that happened. Who remembers the first Easter here? And we decided we'd put in envelopes, brown envelopes, which the Sunday school had written on Happy Easter, all our publicity for launching this new church. And we wanted to get the message out there that there was a refreshed church. There's been a church here since 1630, a refreshed church. And in those days, it was trendy to give something to people that you were marketing the church to. So we put a Cadbury's cream egg in every envelope. And one of them went through the door in Bridge Avenue of a leading vivisectionist. And the vivisectionist in those days, somebody who experimented on animals for bad or good purposes, they'd been trained because they were under threat from animal liberation movements to report dodgy-looking envelopes. So this vivisectionist called the police, who called the bomb squad. Do you remember this? Called the bomb squad, who sent in a robot, brought this funny-looking brown envelope with Happy Easter in childish handwriting and a lump in. And the robot brought it out into the middle of Bridge Avenue in Hammersmith. And they x-rayed it, and they just saw this round lump wrapped in silver foil. So they decided to do a controlled explosion. And they did a controlled explosion. And as well as various bomb disposal experts being splattered with cream egg, out of the sky floated St. Paul's Hammersmith, Happy Easter. We were on the front page of the Sunday Times, the Observer, all the local emerging websites, the Hammersmith and Fulham Gazette. And as the Observer article said, this church has just got £1 million worth of PR by accident. And do you know, but God has just overruled, interweaved, done his thing as we've tried to catch up. He is at work, and he's faithful, and where he calls, he provides.
Well, it's not quite done. You've got another month of leading the church. And although we're celebrating the stories tonight, we're going to cherish and enjoy the next month until the 10th of April, when we'll have a hog roast and a celebration and a service. And you're all welcome to come and join us. 3 p.m. on the 10th of April. Please come. The Bishop of Kensington will come, and it'll be a final, and then there'll be a hog roast afterwards. So you're very welcome. So there's a bit more time, and the fundraising campaign and the 22 and 22 will, as next month unfolds, there's a bit more to do. So there'll be other times for saying thank yous, but this is a particular moment for us, for all of us who have gathered in this evening. We're going to hear another song and have another few moments before we have a chance to hit the bar again or head on home. But we just wanted to say, almost 2 years ago, not quite, 20 months ago, I got a phone call from you. And Simon, you just expressed, I've had a dream, seen you walking around this church in my dream, and just wonder if we're just working things out, we're wondering about the future, wondering what you're thinking about this. We'd love a conversation. That was just very tentative, putting something out there. There's been a long story since, but here we are. And many people said to Sarah and I, as we came here, because you were saying, oh, let's do an overlap, let's share some time. And they were like, oh, I'm not sure, that doesn't really normally happen in the Anglican church. That people didn't really do that. But you know what? We feel that we have been so blessed and encouraged by both of you in the short 6 months we have been here. We can't begin to imagine the blessing and the encouragement you've been to people who have spent years here. We have said to several people in lots of different places that we have been so encouraged by you, and that you two have bent over backwards for us to set us up well for the future. And that blessing to us, we will forever be thankful for. But for us, that's just like 6 months of time. That's like hardly anything compared to many people here who have enjoyed years and years of knowing you, walking with you, being blessed by you. You have poured yourself out for 22 years in this community, in Hammersmith. You have blessed the city of London in ways that you don't even know. And we have had a short taste of ministry, Sarah and I, in the few years we've been in the sort of ordained ministry and leading in churches. But even though it's short, it's enough to know that there have been so many times when you have poured out sacrificially. You've served in ways that people didn't even know. You've given family, heart, vision, time. Both of you have sometimes been on the platform and been very obvious to other people, but most of the time it's been quiet, behind doors, cheering people on, having coffees, praying for, giving your time freely, grappling with how much to give your family and how much to give the whole family of God. All of those decisions that you have taken over 22 years have built not just this building, but a community of people who have been deeply blessed and loved by you and by Jesus. And you have been that example to us. So although we still have another song and another moment to celebrate, I just wanted to take this moment to say thank you. And if there was anybody else who was blessed by Simon and Anna in the room, whether you'd join me and stand and thank them.
Amazing. And we're privileged to be here in this time, this moment. Lots of people who are with us online. I can't read out all of them. Lots of people have written a number of things. They're just fond memories of happy times, blessed times. Liz and Kev to Blanche, Dan and Jess. My favourite memory is Simon calling the mums and toddlers group play babes. Josh and Rachel Page, Joe DJ Lids, apologising for the crack in the floor. We could go on. Lots of you, thank you so much for keeping them coming, because Simon and Anna will see them all. But Perry, what's happening next?
We've got a couple of things still to go before we close this evening. You've seen what the old staff used to get up to when no one was watching. Now it's your chance to see what the current staff get up to when Simon's away.
and I've just cut Simon's leads in the car because I don't want him to go, and I feel simply dreadful. And they're coming behind me too.
Coming in, dear, coming in.
Thank you.
Interesting. Okay, I think I have it now. All right, what do I start off with? The wine. Bless the wine and then give... No. What does it say again? The bread first. Okay. Bless the bread and then offer the wine. Perfect.
He loves me more than you.
Viv, no, that's not true. He loves me the most.
Mark, get real. He loves me much more than
But Viv, you don't know him as well as I know him.
I've known him for so many more years.
But we have a
He
deeper
loves me.
relationship. He loves me the most, Viv.
Me and Simon are bald men together.
No. Ian, I've been collecting old Bible covers, stitching them together into curtains so that we've got enough of them to make curtains for when we move into the house.
You're not moving into the house. It's mine. I've
Ian,
worked 18 years. You've been here 5 minutes. You're not having the house.
You've got a point, but this is the house. I've been collecting the Bible covers.
No, don't care. No.
This will do.
So long, farewell, I'll be the saying adieu. Adieu, adieu, to you and you and you.
No, not now.
So long, farewell, au revoir, I'll be the same. I'd like to stay and taste my first champagne. Yes?
No.
Honey, it's the children.
There's a sad sort of clanging from the clock in the hall, and the bells in the steeple too. And up in the nursery, an absurd little bird is popping out to say cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Regretfully they tell us, but firmly they compel us to say goodbye to you. So long, farewell, I'll be just saying goodnight. I hate to go and leave this pretty sight. So long, farewell, I'll be just saying adieu. Adieu, adieu, to you and you and you. So long, farewell, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. I'd like to stay and taste my first champagne. Yes?
No.
So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. I leave and heave a sigh and say goodbye, I'm glad to go, I cannot tell a lie. I flit, I float, I fleetly flee, I fly.
Take anything you want. Oh my goodness.
Amazing. Come on, get on. Oh, CDs. Girls allowed? No. Spite no. One but Simon. Really? Oh, anthems. Interesting.
Suffering and sin.
Oh, I've got one. How to find a wife. Yeah,
How to deal with hair loss.
I should probably take that one, I think. Yeah, thank you. Oh, here's one. What to do if children and young people don't like you?
Yes, I want it. No, whoa. No, I want it. Wait a second.
Keep going. Great.
I don't know what else to do.
Good. Good? Yeah, back straight, everyone. You're in. That's very funny.
Ian, don't look.
Well done, team. That was amazing. Don't forget, if you want to fund the future, that's a picture of the future of the staff of St Paul's Hammersmith. It's not too late. If you can write a check, there's loads of different ways. There's still places where you can do that card thing, Sum Up, that's what it's called. Is that right, Tim?
I think so.
Anything else?
No, you're doing brilliantly. It's that time of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, when we discover it's not only the current staff that can sing. Every single one of us can take part. It's two words you knew were coming. Audience participation. Without further ado, would you please welcome on stage Mr. Sam Chaplin!
Good evening. How are you all doing? It's such an amazing evening to be part of. I love the words at the end of that said, "We love you, Simon and Anna." You're getting the message. It's great to be here to celebrate Simon and Anna and the Downhams and the church and all of us and the ministries that have grown out of this place over the years. I was at this church 2010 to 2020. In fact, Simon, you married me and my wife just about here. And I think you prayed with me quite a few times just here, quite sort of snotty tear kind of area. In fact, you can still see the marks. And one thing I love about this church is that it's a church that loves to sing. And thank you for all the support you've given me and Rachel over the years in all the different crazy musical adventures that we've got up to in this place. And it's time for one more. And Cindy and Jemimah asked if I would put together something that we could all sing along to celebrate the Downhams and all the ministries in this church. So I asked them to send me some stories that might be useful, and lots of the ones you've heard this evening, the ceiling falling in, ghosts, and another story about Simon losing the church keys, and was it just before a wedding or something, and you had to break in through, and you got your belt stuck on the window or something. We haven't heard that one yet, but I just thought I'd bring it up. So I've sort of woven some of those into a song for us all to sing. But are you ready to sing? Well, can you sit up, please? Okay. Very good. We're just going to do a little warm-up, so can you just roll your shoulders a little bit like this? And the other way. Lift them up to your ears. 1, 2, 3, drop. Up to the ears. 1, 2, 3, drop. Beautiful. Can you say, mm-mm? Mm-mm-mm. Whoa. Hey. 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 Say yeah. Say hey, yeah. You are ready. We are going to celebrate 22 years through the medium of ABBA. So we've got a new song, and you might recognize it. It's actually called Thank You for the Downhams. I wonder whether we could just have a little practice of the chorus. And let's note. We've got some lyrics. There we go. See what we're doing here? You're going to need to sit up because it's quite high, but here it comes. So we sing it together. This is our practice run through. So we say, thank you for the Downhams, the love they've given. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who can live without them? I ask in all honesty, where would we be without Crosslight Spear or TLG? So we say thank you for the Downhams, for giving them to us. You sound amazing. All right, here we go. That was your warm-up. There's something special. They're quite an incredible mix. A lawyer, a teacher, both called to W6. Because they had a vision, a prompt, and a prod for shaping this city as they're shaped by God. Let the work now begin, even if the ceiling falls in. So we say thank you for the Downham. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who can live without them? I ask in all honesty, where would we be without Crosslight Spear or TLG? So we say thank you for the Downhams, for giving them to us. Now Anna's many ministries have shown that she's loving and wise. She also cooks awesome dinners, served up with plenty of marital advice. Simon's got a brain like a planet, remembers faces with ease. But somebody please help him to find the church keys. He's a man you can trust, and he'll break in if he must. So we say thank you for the Down. That's it. The love they've given. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who can live without them? I ask in all honesty, where would we be without Crosslight Spear, True Freedom Prayer, City Kids and Youth, or TLG? So we say thank you for the Downhams, for giving them to us. I've got a feeling this massive building's not quite massive enough. Let's build a warping grade extension. It'll be such fun. Come on, everyone. Stretch 21. So we say thank you for the Downhams, the love they've given. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who can live without them? I ask in all honesty, where would we be without Crosslight, Spear, True Freedom Prayer, Refugees Welcome, a million Alpha courses, City Kids and Youth, RTLG. So we say thank you for the Downhams. We're so glad we found them. Just stop and look around them. Your mercies just astound them. May your love and grace surround them. Everybody, we say thank you for the Downhams, for giving them to us, for giving them to
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So the envelopes are still on the tables. Fill them in for the next 22 years and beyond. The bar is open at the back. We'd love you to stay and chat. But for now, it's goodbye from Perry and from I, and we'd love to welcome back Simon and Anna for their final.
Do you want to come and say something? Do you want to come and say good? No, they don't want
They're
to.
shaking their heads. Come on.
We love you.
Come on.
We
So
love you.
come on, up you come. Let's
give them a round.
draw them on.
I've never known you not to have anything to say, Simon.
My wife just whispered in my ear, say thank you and then get off.
That is about it, because we have gone over, but thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We feel truly honoured and blessed and loved, and we're really excited for all that's to come. So thank you, and thank you. It's the danger of mentioning names, Cindy, and team, to everybody who has poured literally months of work into this. Thank you so much.
My days were a little brighter, my heart